exclusion zone on 7/8 at 9:08 a.m. You left at 9:13, entered again at 3:57 a.m. There was a curfew in this case, was there not?
Yes, and if you would, Judge, if you're anything like me, you have a tank of goodwill that can run empty. And you've given us more than we deserve in this case. Hurricane Beryl, this was the height of when Hurricane Beryl was coming through the neighborhood.
Who in their right mind is supposed to be out in a hurricane at 4 a.m?
His power had gone out. He learned that his sister had a generator. And so that's where he was, that's the address. It's his sister's home where there was a generator that could provide some cool air. And that's what was happening in this case. But there's no excuse. He understands what his bond conditions was.
Let me ask you this. Was he allowed to be at the house that he went to?
Not according to his bond.
I had nowhere to go. It's hot.
So what? Everybody else in Houston still doesn't have power. 1 million people still don't have power. Still, to this very moment. And they're dealing with it.
Did you contact pretrial services to let them know where you were going?
Yes.
When did you do that?
Yesterday.
Okay, but you didn't do it
Days
before you went.
I called them. They wasn't answering the phone. I got pictures.
I don't care about
screenshots.
calling Jesus.
Yeah.
It don't matter who you're calling and what's your excuse. You have bond conditions. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. This is not the third time that you've had bond violations. How many is
This
this?
is the 6th time I've been here in the past 45 days.
Am I supposed to let you go after 6 times? Mr. Stewart.
To be fair, the first time was my first appearance, so that was just a regular court date.
You know, we all have to deal with very stressful situations. We are all under, we all deal with the stress, and really 1 million people still, or I got to imagine it's hopefully less now,
I
but
still don't have lights.
so many other people don't.
Sure.
But that doesn't give you the right to go where you're not supposed to go. And not only have I ordered you not to be out in the middle of the night, but the police and everybody else told you, stay at home. Don't go out in a hurricane. And yet you go out. It's not goodwill. You know, I mean, Mr. Mercer, now it becomes enabling. That's what it does. And it tells him that if I let him go, it's okay. It's not. He still thinks he can do whatever he wants to do.
I'm tired of coming in here and making excuses. What I've had to do is to remind myself.
Look, if you want to withdraw from that case, you can withdraw, and I'll appoint him a lawyer today. I'm not letting you go. It's not fair.
Oh, Judge, I got asthma and allergies. I'm literally sweating bad. I couldn't even breathe in the house. Judge, I could not.
Stay.
No, I couldn't go nowhere else. I'm steady. I'm looking for a job. I can't find a job. It's hard. Everything is hard for me. Like literally everything is hard, Your Honor. Like
I didn't have power either. I don't have air conditioning. I have a fish that I'm trying to save by sitting there bubbling water myself, trying to keep this fish alive.
I don't have.
So we all have things that we deal with.
Oh, nothing. You want to like, I can't even charge. I barely can charge my ankle monitor. We have no power, like literally no power.
Go somewhere else. You don't go to the house that you're forbidden.
I don't have literally, I don't have nowhere else to go. I don't have family out here. I only have one person out here, one other person out here, other than my mom. Literally.
Judge, I'm not sure why the address was an exclusion zone. There's no victim in the case. It was an unlawful carry case. I don't know. If I would have caught that, I would have asked the judge to amend that order because it's his mother's and sister's house, and there was no reason to have that on the bond conditions. I don't understand why that was.
Tell me about it, because I don't remember. It's now been so many cases and so much that I don't even remember anymore.
On the first page,
I don't know, which case are we, because there's,
the weapon case, so
Okay.
it's March 12, 2024. Officers were conducting a fugitive investigation for a wanted fugitive when they observed the defendant standing in front of an apartment in Harris County, Texas, with an AR pistol on his waistband. Rifle magazine was visible on the right side of his waist. Officers approached the defendant and instructed the defendant to come to them for their investigation. The defendant then turned and ran away 20 feet from outside to inside of his apartment and ran upstairs with the firearm still in his possession. Officers then surrounded the apartment and gave commands for the defendant to come outside, which he eventually complied with. Officers then obtained consent from the homeowner to search the apartment and located an upper receiver inside a dresser, the rifle magazine inside the dresser, and a lower receiver of the rifle in another dresser near the window. The upper receiver had a live 300 blackout round ejecting out of it.
that's the first case.
That's the first transaction. He picked up evading and unlawful carrying in a public place. The other two were evadings.
So,
That's where the exclusion zone came from. I feel like I dropped the ball on that because I would have asked the court to amend that. It's his mother's and sister's home, and I didn't feel like that was necessary for him to have it.
why did we do that in the first place, the exclusion over there? You know?
Judge, I don't believe it's something we requested because we didn't really rip anybody since there wasn't a victim in the case.
But your mother and your sister stayed in?
Yes, my sister stayed over there.
Since
He shall not go to or within 500 feet of the drive.
I don't want to make a presumption, Your Honor, but I do feel like if I had approached the DA and asked them to amend that, I don't think they would have been opposed. That's something that I should have done.
And I'm with you.
If I had done that.
And Mr. Mercer, I'm with you, but he's still out at 4 a.m. You're still going out at 4 a.m.
I was leaving the place I was at because me and my mom were panicking so much, and I had to go to went to my sister's house. You can ask my mom, you can call my sister, you can literally ask both of them. They'll tell you, literally. I was hiding. I have asthma and allergies. I can't breathe. I cannot breathe.
So bring him over here. I want to talk to him then.
I can call them on the phone, over the
They've
phone.
been texting with me. They said, please have the judge call us, so.
And she's even been calling. I promise, she's even been calling here.
Bring him here. Let's talk to him Monday.
Okay.
Okay, Judge. Thank you.
Hold to Monday.
in the interim,
As this hearing comes to a close, we're left with a courtroom moment that perfectly captures the tension between personal hardship and legal responsibility. Throughout the transcript, we saw a defendant struggling under the weight of environmental disaster, medical issues, and life instability. Yet also a defendant with a long history of bond violations, something the judge simply could not ignore anymore. What makes this case particularly compelling is the collision of two very different narratives. A man overwhelmed by circumstances, and a judge overwhelmed by repeated noncompliance. Legally, the judge's frustration is understandable. Bond conditions are not suggestions. They're court-ordered requirements designed to protect the public, ensure compliance, and reduce the risk of reoffending. And here the defendant has violated those conditions not once, not twice, but 6 separate times. Even in the transcript, the judge emphasizes that she has given the defendant more chances than most people ever get. At a certain point, leniency risks becoming enabling. That's exactly the point she felt this case had reached. But there's another layer. It's a severe storm crisis. Hurricane Beryl left over 1 million people without power in Houston, including the judge herself. Heat, asthma, lack of power, fear, these are real struggles. And the defendant's explanation reflects a very human response to danger and discomfort. He claims he had nowhere else to go, no family nearby, and simply sought relief at the only place he felt safe. This adds emotional weight to the situation, making the judge's decision even more difficult. Then we have the legal technicality, the exclusion zone. This is mother and sister's house. The location of the violation was restricted under the bond terms because of the initial weapons case, where officers chased him inside an apartment and found firearm components. The defense even admits they dropped the ball for not requesting that the exclusion zone be amended earlier, since there was no victim and no direct threat involving those family members. This is a key legal insight. Sometimes bond conditions are set broadly to minimize risk, but they can become inadvertently restrictive, especially in emergency circumstances. The judge acknowledges this nuance, but she also points out the inconvenient truth. Even without the exclusion zone issue, he still broke curfew and still went out during a dangerous storm. Whether it was to cool off, charge devices, or escape discomfort, the fact remains, the conditions were clear and he did not follow them. One of the most humanizing moments occurs when the defendant desperately explains his asthma, his allergies, his inability to breathe in the heat. Meanwhile, the judge mirrors that vulnerability. Sharing her own struggle of sitting in her powerless home, hand-bubbling water to keep her fish alive, this rare moment shows that judges are people too affected by the same disasters, frustrations, and limitations. Yet, unlike the defendant, she is bound by professional duty to uphold the law despite her own hardship. The turning point comes when the judge decides she wants to hear directly from the defendant's mother and sister. Instead of immediate punishment or revocation, she chooses to continue the case to Monday. This is significant. It shows restraint, compassion, and a desire for clarity. She could have easily revoked bond right then and there, and on paper, she would have had every justification. But she chose fairness over finality, and that decision keeps the defendant's fate hanging on. What happens next? So now the question shifts to you, the viewer. Do you think the defendant deserved another chance, or did the judge already extend enough mercy given the repeated violations? The storm, the medical concerns, and the legal oversight on the exclusion zone. What would you have done in her position? These are the moments that remind us why courtroom cases aren't just legal disputes. They're human stories. Stories about fear, responsibility, pressure, and choices. And this one is no exception. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. Your support helps us bring more real cases, deeper analysis, and unforgettable legal moments straight to your screen.